Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be previewing the third of the 5 war tournaments that are going to be happening during the Total War mission event. And we're going to be seeing if any changes are going to be coming in to address some of the issues that are coming up with these Total War missions. So first up, we'll go through the Berserk Blitz that is going to start on the 27th of July and finish on the 28th. It will be a 24-hour war, just generally how most blitzes work. It says, Blitz is back in Total War with our latest edition, Berserk Blitz. Get ready for one of the craziest, most intense wars yet. In Berserk Blitz, every player's first 3 war camp repairs will only take 15 seconds. That means as soon as you are knocked out, you can get right back into the action. To up the intensity even more, the cooldown for attacking war camps will also be reduced from 3 minutes to 1 minute and 45 seconds, and the initial scouting time will be reduced to 1 minute. Here's all you can expect in the Berserk Blitz. Mercenaries will be now enabled. They were enabled for the beginning of the last CRW, which I think a lot of people would have actually preferred they were continued to be enabled for the entire thing, but they were disabled for some reason. First mercenary will be available after 5 minutes, second one will be after 10, and there'll be a maximum of 2 mercenaries. I don't really like the timings on the mercenaries myself. You generally know within 3 minutes if you need more people, so I think having these timers a bit shorter would be actually better. 6 versus 6 battle with a 30-minute siege duration. Blitz wars generally do have 6v6. It is midweek. I don't think too many people can complain about this, even people in 1A, as it is a weekday Blitz war. Camp attack cooldown lowered from 3 minutes to 1 minute 45 seconds. In 6 versus 6, this is actually going to be helpful because by the time you rotate on a 6 versus 6, if you're absolutely destroying, you should be able to attack the first person again without having to wait like for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Scouting time is now reduced from 3 minutes to 1 minute, and the first 3 camp repairs take 15 seconds like said above. That means that if you get destroyed, you can repair. It takes 15 seconds. You should be able to repair your faction mates as well. So if you have got people filling in, you'll be able to repair them, and it will take 15 seconds to repair them. That way you can still score more points while they're getting taken out. It does say there are new Total War rewards. I'm not sure if they're going to break that down in this or if it's just talking about the current missions that are already live or not. Get out there and go Berserk. I actually kind of thought that the title of this war being the Berserk Blitz would be more down to the towers rather than some implementation on timers, but it does seem like it's going to only be implementation. We'll see what the towers will do because that will heavily influence the balance of this war. But the Blitz War event time it starts on the 27th of July at 4 PM Pacific time, and it ends on the 28th of July at 4 PM Pacific time. So like I said, 24-hour war, kind of what we expect. Now it does break down the strongholds as well, and it says siege duration at 30 minutes. That is how long the actual wars will last. The attack cooldown says 3 minutes and shield cooldown says 3 minutes, and it's going to be the stronghold rules. The toll booth will make it so that when you attack camps and strongholds, it causes defenders to have 50% heal reduction for 3 turns. This has no real change to the game. This is not a very good tower at all, so I would say avoid this pretty much. Sniper Nest, fast and tough team members get a large bonus to AP when defending camps and strongholds. The majority of whale defenses have quite a lot of alert characters in them at the moment, so this might help free-to-plays a bit more. So it might be worth people who are free-to-play to pick this up because you generally have a couple of fast and tough characters on your defense teams. And then lastly, the Digger is alert and strong team members get Guardian Shield at the start of combat when attacking camps and strongholds. Now, there aren't very many free-to-play strong and alert characters that are actually any good. The majority of people who will be attacking camps will probably, again, have tough and fast characters. So this is not really helping free-to-play too much. And these towers do not address the issues that are going on in the game when it comes to the Total War missions at all, because they're not closing the gap between the very, very overly defensive whale defense teams versus attack teams that can barely scratch them. In the last war, we did have that. We had a tower that obviously gave out slow, and you could use attack while slow mods in the bottom left hand corner in your auxiliary slot. I'm guessing this was actually done by accident because this was one of the best towers in terms of closing the gap we've ever had. I was able to take out a lot of defense teams that otherwise it would take me a few extra turns to do. War was much more enjoyable. Having overly defensive defense teams generally is not very fun. I remember back to the Generation 2 6-star era when between Christmas of Camilla getting released and 6 months later to June, it was the worst time to ever war. Every single tower was a defensive boost. It was boring. Wars should be about speed and having fun on attack, not having some good defense teams, especially when you can repair often. I don't know why there aren't bonuses to offense, so making attacks much quicker, so people would have more incentive to actually repair. If you're coming up against a whale faction, why are you going to repair? Even if it is a 15-second repair, you're just never going to do it because you're not going to be able to hit them very well. You're going to be repairing for them to get more points, which just is something you're not going to do. Whereas if their camps were better, if there were better bonuses to even up the matching a little bit better, you would definitely want to repair back in because you'd want to be able to hit more. The rewards seem pretty much the same as they have been in the last couple of wars, but the choice box has changed a little bit. As you can see, it does go on as follows. Rick and Matteo are now the top reward rather than the second reward. I think it was, I want to say Eugene and Rosita was the 50 card reward before. Rick and Matteo were the 40. Jackie and AJ have been promoted to 40. Trader and Alpha have been promoted to 30. And now we have Storm and Kerry-Ann as the new characters in here at 20. So it does seem like they're going to cycle every few wars where we'll lose the top people and then the next ones will be pushed up. I don't actually mind that. I like that quite a lot, especially let's say if you're after Trader, now you're getting more Trader cards per crate than you were before, so it's going to take you less time to get him. If he goes to 40, 50, again, it'll be even more so. Then we have the milestone rewards, and I am very happy to say that they go up to 100k, which is actually quite reasonable for a Blitz war. I think majority of people will be fairly happy with that. I know there'll be definitely some people will want it to be higher, but a Blitz war, a 24-hour war on a weekday, I think 100,000 is pretty reasonable. It does then go through the matchups, and I'm just going to quickly scroll through them. If you want to pause, you can, just to see your matchups. And it does seem quite similar to the matchups we've had recently. I think we had 2 wars in a row, CRW and Blitz, where it was exactly the same matchups. I was seeing exactly the same regions and factions and matchups the entire time, which is disappointing. You want to see new people. You want to be matched up a bit more evenly, especially if you're in a CRW where it's extremely one-sided. If you're in 1A and 1B, this can be harder because there are just less regions, but it is nice to see a bit more, I don't know, just something different every different time. And you can see the last region is Eccles, and they're getting an all-out war rather than a CRW. So you did hear me say at the beginning whether this is addressing some issues that are in the total war missions right now. And the biggest issue for the majority of players in the game is the fact that the siege battles are not equal. So it's going to be very hard for certain parts of the game to be achieved by a lot of factions. If I go into my war missions after a CRW and a Blitz, I'm happy to say that I'm going to be able to hit the 550 on the amount of war battles that I need to win, and that shouldn't be too much of an issue. There's still 2 blitzes and a CRW to go. In 1 blitz and a CRW, I got way over 50% that I was required to get. And I don't war heavily. I did war quite a lot in the last CRW, but I don't normally war quite heavily, so I think I should be able to achieve that quite easily. The next one is the issue, and even though I hit quite a lot of times, 333 wins, let's say I lost another 10% on top of that, so it's at least 360 to 360, 70 hits that I did. I easily would have lost 10% on top of that just because of some of the trader teams out there. I only won 19 wars in this time, and that is the biggest issue. Supposedly reserves are counting for some people, but not for other people. I've asked people whether they counted for them, and they're saying no, and then other people are saying yes, actually reserves are counting. I tried to hit reserves. I didn't really see if it was making a difference, but considering you have to hit 100, and my faction's finishing top 10 in CRW, so it's not like my faction's down in like 60th place. Any factions down in 60th, I would be surprised if you've got like 5 war wins, because it's very hard, especially when you're punching up consistently. If you're 10th place, you're going to be punching up quite a lot, because we were matching top 3 a lot. And I think this is something that really needs to be addressed, whether it going forward for new war missions in the future or in the last 3 weeks of this total war mission, because my faction is a pretty good faction. We're a top 100 faction a lot of the time on the leaderboard in Diamond, but unless you're warring non-stop, you're not going to really be in enough war sieges to actually get the 100. So I think this was kind of like a miss. I think it should have been actually taking part in war sieges rather than winning them, and that would have been much more balanced, especially for lower factions. Like I said, if you're in 60th place in the CRW, these are the weakest rewards as well. That's the bit I don't get. It's not even like these are the strongest rewards. You've got engine grease here, whereas you've got the varnish in actually winning wars. So you can see the varnish is up in winning wars. So they've obviously said that this is the harder one, but it's not. This is one of the easier ones to achieve. This one is the hardest one by far. The easiest one, I don't even know what this even means. I think I've completed it already. Yeah, I completed it all already. I didn't even know what this meant. Attack 10 war camps. This was always ahead of other things. I don't know if it included towers, but you needed the least here. You got a lot of rewards. I was very thankful for all the rewards here, but I definitely think these War Siege wins need to be changed to just participation in War Sieges rather than wins. We've already got one up here that is wins, and you can maybe increase this a little bit more if you're going to do these missions again in the future, which I'm guessing won't happen. I think this was just more of a like, welcome to the change of war, test it out for us, here's some really nice rewards. So yeah, a Berserk Blitz will be starting Monday night and it will go into Tuesday. Not really going to be any implementation to, like I say, fix some issues that a lot of people are facing. I think the slow tower helped a lot, but I'll go ahead and say that we're probably never going to see the slow tower again because it was not introduced the way they wanted it to be, in terms of like people were taking advantage of it in a different way and using it and having a lot of fun with it. I think we can safely say that we're never going to see it again. A lot of the time when things come into the game which are enjoyable, even if it's not meant to be used the way it was used, we generally never see it again for whatever reason. I've said it a lot in the past, like the events that we've had that we really enjoy. The Pick Your Side event, people talk about it for ages. We only ever saw it once more. And again, people were pretty happy with the Maggie and John event. You got to choose a weapon, you got to choose the character. People were fairly happy with that. Kendama, which I saw no one talking about positively, really. Not really many people talking about it negatively, but we saw that like 5 times or something. We've had like 4 or 5 iterations of that. And the same can be said for the Ruby event now, where we've seen it twice. And again, I haven't seen anyone really say anything positive about it. So generally speaking, when I see a lot of positivity about something, I'm like, damn, we're never going to see anything like this again. Which is just a shame. But like I said, guys, do have fun with Berserk Blitz. There are going to be 3 more wars taking place during the Total War missions. The 27th of July, the 3rd of August, and then the 14th of August. We'll be finishing up with a cross-region war at the end. So these are the last 3 wars. You're going to have a chance to complete those Total War missions. Best of luck. That is the end of my video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.